As a shooter, Left 4 Dead is a bare bones game. What I mean by that is that you, the individual player, have very few options. One main weapon, one sidearm, one throwable, and one healing item. You have no movement options, a non-regenerating health bar, and a painfully slow reload. In short, it's the perfect cooperative shooter. You cannot win this game alone. You need a team of real or AI-controlled players to survive even the easiest of difficulty levels. It's the fact that each of the individual characters is so ineffective on their own that it makes Left 4 Dead work as a unique game. Because if Left 4 Dead was a single-player game, it would probably be panned as a rather generic zombie shooter. But just because the characters are weak on their own, doesn't mean Left 4 Dead has no depth. Left 4 Dead is a co-op game, but it's also a reactive game. Many video games react to the player's actions and revolve their world based solely on how the player behaves. Left 4 Dead is a game where the player not only has no agency in how the game operates, the player is forced to act around how the game operates. This is shown through the Special Infected. Each type of Special Infected requires a different reaction from the players that all center around cooperation. Many of these infected share the same purpose. Hunters, jockeys, and smokers all require players to save another player from their traps, and there's not much you can do to avoid them. While tanks require the whole team to come together to take them down. So now we come to the enemy that requires the biggest reaction and cooperation from the players, the Witch. The Witch serves as a massive wrench to be thrown into every Left 4 Dead level. Because Left 4 Dead is a horde shooter, where if you're not killing zombies, you're probably not helping your team, an enemy that requires the exact opposite approach to deal with should theoretically be the worst thing you can do to the rhythm of the game. But whenever a witch appears, it changes the tempo of the game so hard that it works. As soon as you hear that distant sob and eerie song, the game takes an entirely different turn. It is absolutely astounding how the tone of the game is able to switch on a dime. From the loud spray of automatic weapons tearing through the rotten flesh of the infected, to a trepidatious trot around a weeping widow with murderous mood swings. This works so well because instead of toning down the horror aspect of the Witch to fit in with Left 4 Dead's more actionized orientation, Valve chose to make the Witch as big a tone shift as possible, which ensures every player's cooperation in not disturbing her. The severe threat the Witch represents to a successful run means that treating her with caution is essential. The fact that you always hear the Witch before you see her is what adds the most tension to the encounters. This, combined with the fact the Witch doesn't appear in the same location every attempt, means that the search for the Witch is often more intense than the act of sneaking past her. Now, the Witch isn't a foolproof mechanic, as it's very easy for fools to abuse. While I do applaud the difficulty that has to come with avoiding firing in a specific direction while the horde rains down upon you, I'm less enthused about giving trolls such a deliberate way to throw the game by purposely startling the Witch and forcing the other players to react. I suppose it is a way of making the game more artificially difficult, but I don't like how easily abusable her mechanics are. And the utter buffoonery of the person that gave Left 4 Dead the achievement of killing the Witch in a single headshot is totally insane. Forcing achievement hunters to become trolls for the sake of completionism is nothing short of a moronic idea. Although there is that Team Fortress 2 achievement that shows Valve is less than concerned with player satisfaction in their multiplayer games, Left 4 Dead's Witch is not an unheard of mechanic, but it's downright alien in a game with such a loud personality as Left 4 Dead. While the Witch isn't a good idea on paper, Valve's devotion to making her encounters frightening makes what should be a total pace killer and troll bait one of the most memorable parts of some of the best zombie games of all time.